Lesson 7, Unit 4. Managing the Information Cycle, Part 1. You need to manage information with the same level of discipline that you will use to manage human and financial resources. Information is a strategic resource and you need to manage it accordingly. It is especially an important resource for stakeholders for whom the quality of information can influence the quality of their decisions. This highlights the need to manage information as a key project asset. Information management has as its goal the management of information as a resource. Problems with the implementation of information management are indicated by the presence of redundant or inconsistent information, the inability to share information, and difficulty in finding the information collected by the project. Information management requires a systematic process to manage information from the time it is identified until the moment it is disposed. To manage information, you need to adopt a cyclical process. The information management cycle consists of 9 closely related activities: identification of information needs, locating information sources, acquisition and creation of information, organization and storage of information, analyzing and reporting information, information dissemination, information use, and evaluating the information process. Information management consists of a continuous cycle that starts at defining the project information needs and ends at evaluating the information management process and incorporating improvements and changes to increase its efficiency. The cycle is continuous during the life of the project, with iterations that should occur during the project internal evaluations or other opportunities for the project team to review the management plan. The first step in the information process is defining information needs. It is important to ask all project stakeholders their information requirements. This will result in an inventory of all the information that the project will manage during its life cycle. Information needs can also be dictated by legal and regulatory requirements imposed by local governments, or requirements imposed by outside organizations, or contractual requirements established by donor agencies, including the beneficiary demands for information and for internal control operations. The next step is to identify the appropriate sources for each type of information required. A project acquires information from both internal and external sources. For all sources, the plan should describe how the information will be collected and stored. Locating information requires a strategy that will facilitate the identification of information sources that are valid, reliable, and cost-effective to obtain. From all the potential information sources identified, you need to ensure that information is relevant to the needs of the project and stakeholders. You also need to ensure the source has information that is relevant and significant to the objectives of the project. Significance is a criteria that can help decide what information source should be given more attention and analysis. You also need to consider if the information selected is useful in its present form. Some information may need additional work to make it suitable to the project. Information needs to be accurate and reliable. This is to determine whether the information is a fact, opinion, or propaganda. Credibility ensures the source of information is of good quality and will not change over time, and it's free of any bias, prejudice, or inconsistencies. The next step is to collect information. Here, your main focus is to avoid the duplication of efforts in collecting data and information and use a consistent method for each type of data and information. You will have to balance the need for data and information and the cost to accomplish this activity. The cost of collecting information can be high, especially when the project has many requirements for information from stakeholders. There are two basic considerations that you will need to take into account when deciding how to collect information: quantitative and qualitative methods. Qualitative methods are used to gather information from beneficiaries or partners by asking them to explain what they have observed, believed, or feel. This method provides with textual descriptions. Collection methods might include observations, interviews that may use techniques to capture video or audio as a method to obtain people's impressions or behaviors to measure any changes over time. Quantitative methods measure the status of change of a specific indicator. For example, the number of rows improved, the changes in crop yields. The method provides with numerical results. Collection methods might include surveys, observations, and polls.